right, let's do a quick AV check here. Looks like everyone, video coming through, audio coming through. So, yep, we're all good. All right, let's get started. So, welcome everyone. Thanks for being here tonight to our little webinar, Crushing Top Steps Trading Combine. My name is Joe Rokup, and today is December 3rd, 2020. Time currently 7:03 p.m. Chicago. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hit the ground running. I wanted to start off by showing you folks a recent big win that we've had in gold. You can see this was a fairly sizable 22K win, which was done with 4 contracts and was opened and closed within a 23-hour period. What was nice about this trade is this particular position was something we had been waiting for and ready for quite some period of time. This happened right after the market was moving sideways. We had that big drop in one day. And then right after that, we saw it's kind of a sideways trend, right? And so in this particular sideways trend, that gave us the chance and the opportunity to got a little dot here, to catch this ultimate move. Okay, so we were trading in a sideways channel. Market broke out of that channel. We sold right underneath an HVA, or a high volume area, as you can see over on the right. And then it fell off into this big gap that you see down here. Okay, so these are the types of trades we're going to be discussing tonight. These are the types of setups we're going to be looking for, and I'm going to walk you through a great number of examples here as we get going. So what's the agenda for tonight? We're going to talk about Topstep, okay? What Topstep is, who they are, and more specifically, what the trading combine is, and the steps and rules required to pass the trading combine. Secondly, we're going to talk about common hangups for traders and how you can overcome them. Third, the 3 strategies that I'm using to pass the trading combine, which I've done about 9 times so far. And fourth, how we're going to use these strategies in my everyday trading with real trade examples. A lot of the trade examples you're going to see are trades I've done in the simpler trading room. If you don't know what the heck that is, don't worry about it. We'll go over that real quickly as well. And then last but not least is how I maximize profits and properly calculate risk-reward ratios to avoid big losses. All right, here's another example from the S&P. This was right after market open, and this trade was put on in the evening. So not all of the trades you're going to see here tonight will require you to sit at your desk from 5 p.m. Until the close the next day at 4. A lot of these signals are valid. You can put them on in the evening, go to sleep, and then see what happens overnight. We bought a dip here in the morning. Market rallied, and we started to scale out on some of our HVA areas. You will notice we actually caught the high here, which doesn't happen terribly often, but what's nice about this system is it gives us the opportunity to scale out and look for that range extension to catch the tiptoe of that, and then watch it kind of come back in. So that's one of the reasons we wanted to show you this particular trade. So before we get too far down the line, let me introduce myself a bit more formally. Again, Joe Rokup. I went to the University of Illinois, ILL-INI. I majored in engineering, focus in business system integration and consulting, and professional experience on the NYMEX, proprietary trading, commercial, physical, here at Education Company, and soccer, yoga, meditation as a few hobbies of mine. Okay, so why listen to me? So let's get a little further into my background without spending too much time on that. So I started on the floor of the New York Mercantile Exchange right out of college. That was is an absolute phenomenal experience. I've 15 years of 15 years of experience in both the commercial and proprietary sides of trading. So both trading sectors, and I've the experience that I've amassed in said decade and a half were done in commodities, indices, and equities through futures, options, and OTC derivatives. And as mentioned, I've passed the trading combine myself. So I suppose what's somewhat unique about me versus some other trading educators out there, other companies, is that the trading floor background, and more specifically OTC, so over the counter trading, gives me a serious edge over a lot of retail traders because of my deep understanding of market flow and volume, giving me a lot of knowledge and insights as to what's really going on in the market, why it's going on, and how we can take advantage of those particular opportunities. I've been the chief architect of algorithmic and HFT trading strategies. HFT meaning high frequency trades, right? And so that's when we see this big volume in and push stuff all over the place, how we can understand how computers are taking over, right? And when to avoid those typical strategies that we typically use, and just, hands up, stay away. Now, conversely, it also tells us when to, double down and, buy more, buy more, buy more, buy more, and really take advantage of those big flash moves that we see from algos, HFTs, etc. And so using the strategy that I currently have or have been using for quite some time, right? I was able to take that strategy and pass it well and emulate that strategy within the confines of Topstep's combine. The confines of Topstep's combine. Uh and 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 that's kind of what's pretty cool about this presentation tonight and the combine itself. So enough about that. So I'm gonna let Connor come on and introduce himself. As you know, I'm from Simpler. He's from Topstep. So Connor, I'm gonna go ahead and throw the mic over to you, and why don't you kind of show everybody your background here?
Awesome. Can you hear me? I believe
Yeah,
so.
Coming through all right.
Great. Thanks, Joe. I appreciate it. As evidenced by my not as polished headshot photo as Joe, you can tell that the Southside Chicago Irish in me is coming out here. So thanks for humoring me there. But yeah, to keep a similar format with Joe, I studied at not too far from University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign. They're actually Illinois Wesleyan University, the real Harvard of the Midwest. Joe is only about a half hour, 45 minutes from U of I. And I studied economics there, and then went on to, in terms of my professional career, was an analyst at a hedge fund here in Chicago. Worked on the CME trading floor in and around the S&P 500 pit. Then got into proprietary trading, and ultimately was one of the first employees of Topstep. So I certainly have been with Topstep now since really the inception. So I'm honored to do that, and have the opportunity to be here with all of you to discuss it. And in terms of my hobbies, I love the golf. Unfortunately, being in Chicago, we don't get a ton of months out of the year to enjoy it. But surprisingly, it's still pretty warm here. So I was able to get out a couple weeks ago. Voracious reader and love to spend time with my friends and family. But I'm excited to be here with you guys and to have this new partnership with Simpler. So thanks, Joe. I'll hand it back over to you since you're the real show here.
That is a phenomenal picture. You look just like Seth Rogen there, as we got about 800 comments in there. saying that. But folks, let's look at this. Golf, reading, spending time with friends and family. Keep that in the back of your mind. That's actually something I'll circle back to later. Okay, so thanks again for that, Connor, and we are so excited to be partnering up with your firm here at Simpler, and this is going to be pretty cool, folks. This is going to be pretty cool, but I digress. So, quick NQ trade example here, and there will be trade examples kind of parsed out over the course of this presentation, and the objectives of showing these trades is really to give you is really to give you an insight into the style that I'm going to be teaching in the upcoming class, and to give you a bit of background and really knowledge of what the objective of this whole process is. Okay, so we bought the NQ here on a dip as it kind of bottomed out on this channel. Now the bottom came right above an HVA level that I have over here on the right-hand side of the screen, and we kind of scaled out on the way up. Scaling in, scaling out's the way. Well, scaling out's the way to go. I generally don't scale in. I usually like to have one entry price for the most part, but we'll get into a bit more depth on that. Excuse me, as we move along. So we quickly went over what the agenda is today, but what's I find interesting and what's more important to you, I suppose, are the educational objectives. So obviously we want to show you what it is we're going to be, offering in the long run, and talk about the combine and the class and et cetera, et cetera. But tonight, it's important to me that you take away these pieces of information. One, learn how to pass the combine and learn what that combine is. And that's going to give you a funded account and the opportunity to trade real money in the markets, which will leverage you significantly. And I'll come back to that. Now, this particular strategy that we're going to be going over also works for personal small accounts, accounts as small as between like $1,000 to $3,000 if you're using micros, and that's going to help you make these strategic market decisions. I want you to gain an understanding of when market conditions are optimal for taking day trading positions based off of volume and market trends. And obviously, in trading, our objective is to generate superior risk-adjusted returns, uncorrelated with traditional long investments. Now, obviously, your traditional long investments are probably smoking it right now, but that gives you a little bit extra risk capital to work with to parlay that and potentially do even better. Okay, here's a Dow trade. A Dow trade in the YM. You can see the market dipped down lower here. Did not quite make a new low in the day. We look to buy right above that new low. And as the market came up, took it off. So again, there's going to be a lot of examples thrown out in the middle or throughout the presentation. So if you have any questions about them, it's a good time to either write them down or get them answered at the end of the session here. Okay, so let's move on to this Topstep combine thing that you've now heard me say a dozen times. Okay, let's talk about what it is, what the rules are, and what you need to do to pass this combine and ultimately trade live with someone else's money. That's what's important. Someone else's money. It's a fantastic psychological advantage to a lot of people. So Topstep is a company. They've been around for around a dozen years, right? Well over a decade. And their mission, okay, aspiring traders can learn to manage risk, gain confidence, and ultimately trade live capital without putting their life savings on the line. Okay. The Topstep Trading Combine is a real-time simulated futures account. Now, you're evaluated over 2 steps, and if you pass each step, you're then given the opportunity to get funded with Topstep's capital. So once you reach a profit target in step 1 and then repeat yourself in step 2, you're guaranteed a funded account. Okay. So the reason Simpler is partnered up with Topstep is we want a 1-2 punch. Love the graphics we came up with there. We're calling this a combination of world-class trading education. That's us, Simpler, me, in theory, with the opportunity to earn a funded trading account, calling that again the 1-2 punch. And that's a great way for retail traders, be it anywhere from novice to experienced. It's good um, for both levels and anywhere in between, and that's got a lot to do with leverage. So we'll go over. I'll show you a little bit of some fractions on that later. Now, what is this? What is the combine, and how do you pass it? Well, step one, you have to prove that you can profit, right? You have to prove to them you have to make money, i.e., demonstrate that you have a winning strategy for the futures market. That's where Simpler comes in. We're going to teach you and walk you through a strategy that has been successful several times for me. And then in step 2, you're going to emulate or redo that same process you used in step 1. And you're essentially going to scale yourself up. Whereas in step 1, you kind of go in with full size. And then step 2, you start small and scale up. Okay. And then step 3, when you are making real money, you can keep the first 5K. It's $5,000 and then 80% after that. And to be frank, in retail trading, even in proprietary trading, keeping 80% of your profits is quite unheard of. I can say that, having been on the street for quite some time. So that's a phenomenal deal for you, which you can see that value right off the bat. Now, here are the rules real quickly. Again, step 1, you have to achieve a profit target. Now, it should be noted that it's in a minimum of days, not a maximum of days, a minimum, i.e., this should give you the knowledge or the kind of comfort that Topstep knows what they're doing. If it was a maximum of 5 days, that would be a problem, because then they're asking you to squeeze all this profit in and make you trade on days where the market conditions frankly suck, right? They stink and they're not worth it. Okay. So they don't want you to have to squeeze that in there during bad days. Okay. So again, like I said, you have to follow these rules, these guidelines. You have a trailing weekly loss limit. They don't want you holding major positions into major economic releases. And then, of course, the scaling plan. Okay. So this is a kind of brief overview of the steps required. And of course, you can, we'll send out links and stuff with a slightly more detailed explanation of each rule, each target, etc. But this is a nice overview for you folks. Okay, so here's a sale trade, crude oil. We bought a dip down through the VWAP. The EMAs crossed, the slow EMA crossed over the fast EMA. Both went up through the VWAP. We bought 4175s and parsed out on the way up. And then on the pullback here at 4190, that's when we finally got stopped out. Okay, so here's a quick screenshot of me passing the 150K combine. You had to make a profit target of 9K. You had to do it in a minimum of 10 days. It could have been 100, it could have been 1,000, right? But they wanted to show some nice steady progress, as you can see here. So again, a little bit of proof of concept for you guys who are familiar with the dashboard. And this is the dashboard that they'll show you. Okay. So here's a quick trade example again. And if you're in Simpler's trading room or you'll be trading live with me in the future, I want to show you how these trades are communicated from me to you. Okay. So it comes out as simple as this: buy one ES at this price, sell it at this price, and then if it breaks, you get stopped out here. Okay. It's crystal clear, black and white. All right. So why choose Topstep? Trade without risking your own capital or your own hard-earned, more of your own hard-earned capital. This tests your ability to profit from the market and manage your risk in just 2 steps. And you can pass both steps in as few as 15 trading days and start trading real money anywhere, anytime. All right. So Topstep has funded over 5,500 traders, giving out over $2 million this year in 2020. And I would be confident in saying those numbers will increase significantly here in December if they haven't already increased since they shared these recent stats with us, because December market conditions have been phenomenal. Okay, so real quick, well, I suppose not quickly, but let's move on to common hangups and how to overcome them. Okay, so moving into a little bit more of the educational portion of the webinar tonight. So everyone pay attention, write stuff down. So if you feel stuck in your trading and you're having trouble passing the combine, or if you are trading your small account and you're not seeing a steady increase in equity, or you kind of or you have 15 or 14 up days in a row and then your 5th day just blams and brings you back down. Okay, that sucks, right? And you're stuck. So some of the common hangups are: do you feel like you're always chasing the market, right? Can't get in at the right time, i.e., is the market making all-time highs, but you never bought it, and you're saying, well, should I buy now? No, it's too high. Should I buy now? No, it's too high. Now, and before you know it, the market's went 100 points, and you're just sitting there scratching your head like, what's going on? Consistent profits, as I mentioned earlier, it's one of the things we'll help you with. Have you tried to learn, but your teachers have not explained exactly what and why you should focus on something? That's one of the things I do best since I've started here at Simpler, is really narrow it in and nailed things down, zero it in, and gotten very granular on, I think you should watch this, 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 and this. So granted, I just named 5, so perhaps that sounded like a lot. But the point being is, instead of 50 futures and hundreds of stocks, let's look at these 5 futures. Okay. And if you can't find opportunity in these 5 futures, then perhaps the day that we're looking at them is just a bad day to trade. So wash your hands and go do something else. All right. Now, having done this for a decade and a half, every trader, I understand the pitfalls, the struggles. I've been there myself. It can be very frustrating, certainly disheartening when you enter a trade, it's a loss, or you consistently feel like you're chasing the market, like this little dude over here. It's a fever dream when you're trying to run, but you can't move. So part of the portion of this webinar, and ultimately the class, right, is to teach you how to understand your markets, and really to explain why I prefer certain trades over others, how we can identify the right markets and the right conditions to get those big trades that we're kind of looking at now. Okay, so how will you succeed? So I've done this before, right? I've tried this combine before. I've been with Simpler before. I've been with other education companies before, and you've struggled. I get that, but it is possible for you to learn. It is possible for you to learn, and so to step in and really really get into that, the Topstep Combine makes trading possible without needing an excessive amount of personal capital. So you can find success without using a massive amount of your money and keep pouring it in and pouring it in and pouring it again, pouring it in. So with this promotion, you're going to get a free month of the Topstep Trading Combine. You're going to gain a more specific understanding of how to trade in these markets and pass the combine. And I'm going to be showing you my strategy. But more importantly, showing you the methodology for getting the right risk reward and making the right trades at the right time. Okay. So now let's go ahead and take a look at this YM trade where we look to buy this dip. Oh, there goes Leo. Where we look to buy this dip. Fast EMA crosses under slow. Both go through VWAP. Boom, there we go. Takes off. Sell at HVA level 1, HVA level 2. Okay. On this particular trade, we risked 232,000, or excuse me, we risked 750 and we won or earned, as I like to put it, $2,375, or about 1 to 3. And this is a little fire sale. Well, this thing came off, snagged the bottom, boom, pop it back up. So there are very specific market conditions in which you want to do this, and we'll be discussing those. So again, what's different about how I trade, and what will be different about trading with me, as opposed to a lot of other education companies, other content providers, across the pond, etc., is my trade signals are black and white. They're very easy to follow. They work well for all levels of traders. I generally use multiples of 3, meaning I'll go in 1 lot, 2 lot, or 3 lots. 3 lots obviously being the strongest signal. And the monetary risk reward is predetermined prior to putting on most of these trades. So you can say, all right, Joe, the risk on this trade's too high, so I'm going to hands off. Okay. Or you say, all right, this fits well within my realm of acceptable losses, and thus let's put some money on the table here. Okay. So this is a volume breakout channel trade. So when the market's trading inside of this channel, as these EMAs cross, boom, we get right in. As the market pops right up to that VWAP, we're right out. Now, what's nice about this is we're buying the bottom of the channel, which is also the bottom of the HVA level here. So let me get this pen back out. There we go. So here's that HVA level, right, which is this nice level of support. And then here's where we get out. Okay, so the channel where the market is already trading just happens to be, inside of the HVA. Now, it's not a coincidence, obviously, and that's the whole point of this. But when that channel falls, when the day trading channel falls inside of the overall yearly channel, boom, we are good to go. So identifying those types of movements and those patterns is really what's going to help you achieve success. All right, so what are the methodologies I use to make money? And trading requires monitoring your capital and taking certain risks, obviously, as we all know, and that can be a little daunting at first. As I mentioned, there's so many available futures products out there to trade, and it's incredibly difficult for someone who's new to the market to figure out which ones they want to dial in on. We'll help you with that. And then how to trade it, where to get in, when to get out, and what conditions are you looking for. Okay. So from there, again, it's all about risk reward. Walking through that in a smooth or granular yet smooth process, I suppose, is the best way to describe that, and how I calculate big wins, like this S&P trade. Loved it. Going into the end of the day. We fell out of this zone. You can see where the the EMAs crossed right here. We bounced off of the VWAP there, and these buy levels should extend out. Sorry about that. But that's where this falls off to, and that's going into the end of the day. There was a trade just like that today, and those of you at Simpler who were in the futures room saw that, and we did this trade verbatim. It was the exact same thing. And we did it we sold the ES, we sold one of those, we sold the NQ, we sold one of those, and then we sold another a YM. So we got short all three markets 3 times in a row. We were in, we were out, done. And I'll show you these signals in a moment. So this is what the live trading room looks like. Okay, this is a snapshot from my screen. And it will be as simple as this: buy 2 crude oil here, sell out 1 here, sell 1 here, and then your stop loss will be here. Okay, so you'll see my position. You'll see exactly where my entry point was, where my exit point will be, and then where my stop loss. So this was an example of a longer trade I had on. This was not called out in the room. Unfortunately, I was not on the mic when this trade was initiated, but this is the process. So I'll show you the next one. And here you go. Buying right here at 36.60 half. So we were in the trading room. I said, okay, here's the buy signal. Let's buy 2. Let's buy 2 lot. Let's buy 60s, and then sell 74s and 94s. And then here's our trailing stop. Okay, it's that simple. All right. And then this is the main screen where you can see all of my positions. Okay, pretty simple. Now, where are we on time? Now, today I was in the trading room this afternoon from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, so 2 hours. And excuse me, I called 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 signals. Make that 7. Excuse me. And this is how the alerts went out. Buy 3 YM at 975. Sell 1 at 20, sell 1 at 80, and sell 1 at 145. Okay. Now what happened is we sold 30,000 in 20s. We sold 30,000 in 80s. We did not sell 30,000 145s, but we had brought our stop loss up to 30,040. So in the trading room, I said, okay, T1 was lifted, i.e. we sold 20s. Move your stop loss to here. Then T2 was lifted. Move your stop loss up to here. So T3, or that final offer there at 45, was not lifted, came back down, but we still netted $1,000 on that particular trade. Okay, so I won't go through all of these examples verbatim. Oh, you know what? I will go through one of these, right, where we sold let me get out my little pen. Sold the ES at 36.71 half. And we bought it at 36.57 half. That trade lasted, what, 5 minutes? Tops. And the reason I mentioned that is it was kind of that fire sale or that runway trade where the market just, boom, fell off. And that was Pfizer, right? So we sold and that was there was a problem with the supply chain with respect to making all of the deliveries for their vaccines. Okay, so we had that quick sell-off, and then that quick pop back up. Point being is, we know based off of volume, based off of our volume indicators, where this stuff is going to move, and in theory, how far. Okay, so the three strategies that I use are called the runaway, the rebound, and the fire sale. Runaway is buying new highs with the thought it's going to keep going, or conversely, selling new lows with this thought process it's going to keep going. Now, this particular strategy needs to be done in very particular and specific market conditions. Okay. And you want that new higher low to be at or equal to a level of support or resistance, not kind of sitting in no man's land. You want the range to be moderate going into that trade. So when the market broke out here in the S&P and shot up, we made a new high. We've made a break through an HVA that had been holding us back. And most importantly, we made a run back up into an area that had plenty of space. Okay. Strategy 2, the rebound, which essentially is an RTM trade, buying a reversion to the mean in the overall direction of the trend. And so here you go, is the NQ trade. Pulls back to the mean, meanders through, gives a little fake break here, and then pops back up. Okay, perfect little setup for us. Took advantage of that, and that trade just flew. $5,300 on that. So that was a very exciting trade for those of us who are able to get in and stay in that particular trade. Now, of course, all of these signals don't always go out to everyone in the room. Of course, I have to be there and be on the mic, but this is something you will be able to participate in with this particular package here, which of course we'll get to in a few minutes. And then the fire sale, right? Which is something we've already kind of discussed. But just a quick drop out of nowhere and then taking this thing back in the proper direction. Beautiful little trade here again. All right, so again, we're capturing moderate price moves in either direction by identifying short, medium, long-term trends in various markets and doing that with a very, very concise risk calculation. Okay, so why should we be using these strategies now? Now, I did a class in July 1st, beginning of July. And I said, this strategy is working out pretty good. I think it'll work all the way through the end of Q1. And I've been using it for years, right? But it's the hit ratios or the success ratios per trade or overall has really just gone through the roof. Okay. So these market conditions have not changed, and they're not going to change for, God, I want to say a year and a half. So that's why using this strategy and taking this class and getting into this combine now is going to be so exceptionally beneficial to you, because these market variables that you see here, ranges, high volume, big swings, and thus high probability technical setups, combined with economic events, is really going to help push you and your trading over the edge. And I want to be there for it. Okay, so quickly, trading platforms. This can be done on Topstep, Tradevocate, Thinkorswim, and Sierra charts. Okay. Here's a quick snapshot of Topstep. Here's a quick snapshot of Thinkorswim. And last but not least, a snapshot of Sierra chart. Okay, so you can see the layouts are very similar and give you similar information. So, and it goes from kind of a light, more novice to a more robust and complex version, but I'll get into a little bit more depth on that as we move on. So, how do I maximize profits and calculate risk? Okay. First and foremost, how to stop losing money, right? Fear, greed, insecurity, indecision. They do not have a place at the trading desk. If one of any of those pop into your mind, just do yourself a favor and beat it. Walk away. Okay. That's the best advice anyone has ever given me. And it has done wonders for me, if you will. So take that to heart. And that's really going to be one of the best ways for you to not lose money is by just taking a step back. And if you have that fear and you have that greed and you have that insecurity, well, there's no place for it. There's just no place for it. So how to maximize profits? The higher the risk, the lower the probability, right? So you need to size down, use smaller size so the monetary risk is the same. Now, if the risk is lower, and this is what people often forget, you need to size up. Don't use the same amount of size with the low risk trade and a high risk trade. The lower the risk, the more size. And that's kind of a hard mental thing to get around is start putting more size onto trades. And you need to figure out when you should do that. And that's what I'm going to help you with. And that's one of the things we're going to learn. Okay. So real quick, here's a losing trade where we look to buy a dip and for this to go back up. That market did not turn and we lost 600 here. Going forward, here's the same trade where we looked to buy a dip. Now here the market did go up and we made about 2,700. So we lost 600 here on signal A and we won 2,700 here on signal A. Thus, we essentially risked 600 to make 2,700 from trade A or from trade 1 to trade 2, but still using that same signal. Okay, so you want to understand the overall ratio on your strategy, not just the trade itself. Okay. So why am I sharing my secrets with you today? Why are you here? You know, I love coaching, and I love working with other individuals. My dad was my coach for 15 years, and I want to just really state that with the right knowledge, change is possible. And it's again one of my passions, working with others, be it training junior traders, be it working with friends, or in this wonderful business also. So really, it's a passion of mine that I suppose you could say is somewhat genetic. And when you have the right mentor, the journey doesn't seem so steep, right? You don't need to be an expert to take this course, but you don't need to be a novice either, right? There's always something you can learn, and going through specific trade examples using the strategy that I've developed is really going to help you improve your trading and just kind of get your hands around everything that you see. And now's the time, folks. Now is absolutely the time to do this. Conditions are great. Conditions are absolutely smoking hot, and there's just so much opportunity out there, and the potential really, really is limitless. We're making all-time highs in the Nasdaq, the Dow, um, the Russell. All of the four major indices products are just smoking right now. So this is not a time to be just hanging out and chilling. It's a great time to be running around and well, perhaps not running around, but getting a little work done. A few hours a week. That's all it takes. A few hours a week. All right. So what do I want from you when you join up with Simpler and Topstep is to use what you learn and to take action. Okay. Let's see some improvement. Keep actively trading when you have time. Okay. There's no obligation to be sitting at the desk all the time, But if you're a trader and you're struggling, there's always more to learn, and that's what we're here for. And we love the success stories that we've gotten. Topstep funded 5,500 traders, $2 million this year. We want to get you folks into that pile and into that group, and we feel confident in that success. So what we discovered tonight, real quick, what the combine is, how you can pass it, okay, what it takes to do that. We talked about how I identify those big moves, take calculated risks in these various market conditions, and how to avoid losing these trades. So, but the question at this point is, if you like what we've discovered in this 45-minute little session here, imagine what's really capable. Imagine what's possible, right? If you feel you picked up a few tidbits so far tonight, or if you feel I touched on a topic that you might want to learn some more on, keep that in mind, right? So I have a class coming up in conjunction with Topstep. So let's go through that that class here. So class is titled "Crushing Topstep's Trading Combine." Joe Roko's secrets for getting accounts funded. So there is a live class this Saturday that I cordially invite you all to attend. That is on December 5th, Saturday. It starts at noon. In addition to that, we have the Pro Live Trading, where you'll be trading with me, yours truly, getting live alerts and trades over the course of a day, right? And not just so learning about the class, right? Or learning about the strategy through the class, but also seeing it in real time. I know I showed you those alerts from today, and those in the simpler room already have access to all of those. But the point is, in that 2 hours, you could have, in theory, passed a portion of that combine. So let's kind of go over the packages that are offered. So there's the basic package, number one, where you get the Topstep formula class, and what that essentially is you get a choice of a combine, and you get our simpler's Topstep direction, as in Joe's crushing the combine. Okay, so you get the class that is put on by us simpler. You get a free 1 month access to Topstep's trading combine, and that's the basic package. So let's kind of go through them one by one, and I'll move right on here. But before we go through specifically what is offered tonight, let's go through the basic Topstep packages that are out there. So for $375 a month, okay, you get access to the 150K combine. Now, you'll note the basic package with Simpler and Topstep combined is not only do you get access to that 150K combine, you also get a class itself. Okay, so it's like it's buy one get one free. BOGO, right? So that's really what that's a nice basic package, a nice way to get started. Now you'll get the recordings immediately; those will be released right away. But in addition, there's going to be a live class on Saturday. Okay, and in that live class, it's going to be a little bit longer, right? We're going to have a few questions throughout, and then a big Q&A session at the end. Okay. Now the pro package, what's cool about this is, again, you get 2 live days with me trading to follow along and to get all of these signals, and to get them live, get them real time. And so it's an actionable item you can do right here, right now. Okay. Instant alerts go out on your phone, right? So you don't necessarily have to be sitting in front of the computer. You can be golfing or reading with Connor or spending time with his family while he's at work and make your trades from your phone, uh, while he reads Moby Dick. So, and again, as I showed you those alerts, folks, they have the entry price, the exit price. So you put them in, and that's that. Now from there, I'll send out trade management, meaning move your stop, move your stop, move your stop, add here, take off here. So we're not just giving you a trade and leaving you in the lurch. We're going to do our best to help you manage that trade after you put it on. Because, it's not always going to go straight up or straight down. It's going to meander somewhere in the middle quite often, right? So we're going to help you deal with that. All right. Now, clearly, in my opinion, the elite package for $797, you get 2 days of pro live trading plus 2 days of elite live trading. So that's 4 days total, right? And you get the class and you get a 150K combine. Now you can choose any of the combine options. And let me scroll back to that for you. You can choose the 30K, the 150, the 100, or the 150. Personally, I like trading with as much leverage as possible. So this is kind of my thought here, especially given the fact that that's the best value for this. I would go with that 99 times out of 100. And it also gives you a little bit more leeway, right? A little bit more room for error. If, the first couple days you trade are just, don't have the best market conditions, it happens. Gives you a little bit more room to stop and regroup. So I really, really think that this is a phenomenal offer. I know a lot of you at Simpler, we offer these, similar classes like this, and they are phenomenal value. But really, what really kind of packs the punch and the 1-2 punch with Topstep and Simpler is that you have this extra class or this extra membership with Topstep in addition to the class, in addition to the Q&A, in addition to the recordings, and then the days of live trading. Okay, so we now accept PayPal credit. So in the event you want to finance this at 0% interest for 6 months, there you go. And so we want to make this as affordable to everyone as possible. We are so freaking excited about this and so pumped to get everyone on board. And we really, really hope it's going to be you guys and you wonderful people who were able to take time out of your busy, busy day and spend time with us. So with that, I will go ahead and open it up to questions. If someone wants to send them over, and then Connor, if you want to hop on the mic real quick, that would be great.
Sure. Yeah, I've been going through. I think I've been keeping up pretty much with everybody answering personally, but if not, I'm happy to go from there. I know you had a few questions, I think, about some of your charting.
Okay, so if you folks asked a question
Simply
earlier that I
missed. Sure, of course.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so oh boy, we just got a number of questions. All right. Okay, so I'm going to go through these as efficiently as I can. So how does my education differ from your June course? So this course is different than my volume breakout course, and that it is more attuned to risk management and market conditions. Okay. And it gets into the psychology of trading, risk management, psychology, and market selection. Whereas the last course was slightly more technical. I think that would be the best way to differentiate them. Now there are very different. There is of course some overlap because I was the same guy, was the same trader in June or July as I am today, and I'm using a similar system, right? But this gets more into the psychology of it. Um, the contracts to set up would be the equity contracts, so the ES, the YM, and the NQ, and then the gold and crude, so the GC and the CO. Um, with this package, you don't get futures into the simplest futures room, but you do, with the pro and the elite package, you of course get those with me. Now, I do think that simpler offers trials in their futures room. So if you contact sales, they can walk you through that. What time is my live trading? Amelia and admin folks, if you could get those out or those answers out for me, that would be great. I don't know off the top of my head. It's Tuesday and Thursday. I think it's Tuesday morning and then Thursday afternoon and morning. But let me get you specific answers there. Data feeds after getting funded. Connor, why don't you step in on that? How much
Yeah,
data feeds
absolutely.
are?
Yeah, so we don't charge the data fees. That's CME Group. So once you are funded with Topstep Trader, in the eyes of the exchange, you are considered a professional trader. So data fees are $105 per month per exchange.
But you're a pro now, so. But that's that's a good problem to have, so to speak. So the data feed is different. Obviously, you can't use the Denali, but that's I mean that's what happens when you trade a funded account. So that's not something you need to be necessarily concerned from, because I believe that's a top line expense anyways, in terms of payouts. So the indicators use general indicators or specific ones provided by Simpler Trading. So Daniel, that's a great question. The indicators are so if you have Sierra Chart or Topstep, or if you sign up if you buy the package, you get a trading combine, right? And thus you get the TradeVicate software for free, and we'll provide you with the setup for free. So it is a combination of indicators done through my methodology, okay? And the charting software is done for you. We send it. It's basically, so it's essentially like buying an indicator off the shelf. The setup is there, and bing bang boom. So good questions. So after we buy the basic, we can definitely pass the tests to get funded. That is the objective. Obviously, there are no guarantees. Market conditions could be bad. Perhaps there was a mistake. Obviously, um, this will significantly, we feel this will significantly increase your chances. And having done the combine so many times myself with proof of concept, hopefully that could give you a little bit more confidence in this class. Um, let's see, the trade alerts you mentioned, how long does it take for once subscribed for a package? So the trade alerts are sent out for those of you in the live trading. Okay. And on day one of the live trading, day one, hour one, minute one, second one, that's when you'll start receiving those signals. Okay. The brokerage account, if someone could get to that. So here's an interesting question. in your indicator set, do you use a standard order flow volume anchored to a 1 month, or do you look at intraday pegged to the various market hours? Walter, for the sake of discussion, I look at things on a daily time frame, a weekly time frame, a monthly, a yearly, a quarterly, and then also look at it inside of a cash session versus the Globex session. So it's kind of a slew of the various time frames, but the main two I use are going back 2 years and then each individual day. Those are the two time frames I use, and I use the Globex session from 5 p.m. to 4 p.m. because when we're trading the futures, it's not limited to, the volume's not on the floor anymore, right? It's not only during those market hours, it's a lot before and a lot after, and all that should be taken into account. Okay. Let's see. Glad, good. How do I get the HVA on toss? That will, so if you did the previous class, the volume breakout class, it comes with that. If you're doing this class, then we send it to you right away. So you get the chart books for Sierra, Toss, and then of course Tradeovate as well. So the HVA levels are drawn manually, and there's quite the process that goes into that, which is something I discuss in the class. If you're already in the combine, Jose, then you can get yourself, I would imagine, an additional month for free, or an additional trial. And then, of course, naturally, you get the class as well. If you have a more specific question that I didn't answer, I'd ask the admin folks as well. So, admin, if you want to talk to Jose specifically, probably someone from Topstep. So in the class, Serena, I will be trading on the Tradeovate platform and the Sierra chart. So I'll be I'll be using both, but I'm going to be explaining how the platform works. So you will learn about Topstep and Tradeovate as well. Okay. So the packages, Les, it's not a monthly cost. You buy it, you get it, you get the 4 days, and it's not a reoccurring cost. It's not a reoccurring cost. So a trailing drawdown, Brookwood, is if your P&L equity curve is like so, all right, and then it falls off like that, then you're going to, it's similar to a stop loss where after day one, if you make money, it gets moved up. Day two, you move up. 3, it moves up. A regular drawdown is just how much you can lose in each day, right? But if you lose 3 days in a row, your trailing loss is going to get hit. Okay. So is it only for day trading? No, it's not. So Terry, there was an example I gave where we bought it at 6 p.m. Chicago time and held it until the next day. It's not only for intraday trades. Okay.
I can knock out a few. I've been keeping track here, Joe. So,
Okay.
Is there any licenses required? No, there is not. So you're totally no licenses required to trade in the combine or be funded with us. A few people have asked, is this available in my country? Yes, it is, unless you're on, unless you're one of the countries that the State Department says, the United States cannot do business with. You definitely are part of it. We have 162 traders from 162 different countries, so I can guarantee you're probably all right. In terms of losses in the funded account, we absorb all of those losses, 100% of those. That's all our risk capital. Hopefully you're not losing any money, right? But if you do by chance, that's 100% us. Data fees in the trading combine. There are no data fees in the trading combine. Those are only when you're in a funded account. So again, no exchange or CME data fees in the trading combine. How much am I funded with? You're funded with the same parameters as your step 2 account. And then somebody asked about trading days. Are they calendar days or are they trading days? They're trading days. So it's 15 trading days. So obviously, barring a holiday, Monday through Friday is a trading day, right, in futures. And then we've had a few people comment on the number of traders divided by the 2 million we've given out and how that works out to a small dollar amount per account. Certainly, when you do the math that way, you're absolutely right. And what I would tell, and I've told a few people in the chat, is that's perfectly natural. Trading's an individualized sport, right? I mean, we have traders that come on our funded account and quickly lose the funded account. It's unfortunate. It's not what we want. It's not what they want, but it happens. And then we have traders that come on our account and they churn the account and they're on it up and down for months or even years. And then we have traders that come on and they consistently make a profitable income from their account. And it's a great either side income or full-time income. And then we have traders that come on and absolutely kill it. But at the end of the day, as Joe will tell you, and as any trader will tell you, you're only as good as yourself in your last trade. It's an individualized sport. So definitely, don't read too much into that or take that top line math away that way. I mean, at the end of the day, we provide an amazing opportunity that's, given out over $2 million to, hundreds or thousands of individuals. And that's really what it's all about. So it's there for the taking. I'd love to see you guys all funded, but I think that was the majority of the ones I saw for me, Joe, unless a bunch of new ones came in.
Okay. So Anthony, you can start the combine whenever you want. I think Connor can confirm that. So Raj, Connor, why don't you address the two questions? Saying I thought step 1 was on sim, so why does the account limit matter? Well, I can take that. So the point is that if you were to have $150,000 in an account, right, and you were to use the normal CME margins, then you'd only be limited to X amount of contracts, right? So when you're in the simulated account, what you're doing is you're proving that if you only had X amount of contracts, you could hit profit target Y in time frame Z, right? And then you do it again on step 2, right? So you do it at step 1, step 2, then you're funded. You're doing the same thing 3 times in a row. If you need 1,000 contracts to make $1,000, they're probably not going to want to give you enough cash to trade 1,000 contracts, right? Because you can lose it a lot quicker. So that's kind of the portion. And Anthony, you can start the combine whenever you want, for sure. Okay. So when you're in the trial period, I believe, or before you're in the funded account, you need to exit your trades before the margin changeover. But once you're funded, I think you can speak with Topstep, and I believe that is different from trader to trader. I don't think it's the same for everybody. But if you're a long-term trader and you're consistently producing positive results, I'm sure that's something that they would be very, very happy to address with you. They're not going to knock you out of stuff if you're making them a bunch of money. Just a thought. Capitalism. Is there a fee with Topstep? So no. So if you buy this course for $397, you also get the Topstep 1 month for free and the trial. Connor, was there something you wanted to jump in and address? Perhaps I misspoke.
No, you were just talking about latitude and in the funded account. Yeah, absolutely. If you're performing really well in the funded account, we don't want to hold you back. And somebody else commented in here, is there a consultant to help you stay profitable? Yeah, we certainly offer, our own, we call them risk managers and or trading coaches. So in the funded account, you have somebody that's running a trade desk that you can talk to at any time, run ideas by. You're in your own trading room too with other funded traders. So certainly we want to support you as best we can. And obviously we're aligned, right? We have a vested interest. Your success is our success.
Well said. So Les had a good question. Does the trading cost differ when trading after the market close? So that depends on, that's different from broker to broker. And in general, if you hold your position over the market recycle from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., right? That's when day one turns into day two. You have to have X amount of dollars in your account to cover your margin. Now, what some of the other brokerages do is they'll give you a very low brokerage rate as long as you're flat over that period. And thus, the other 23 hours of the day, you have a low brokerage amount. So essentially, no, but you have to get out and get back in. And that's kind of what Connor just addressed. So in the event my explanation was insufficient, Topstep can give you a longer or more detailed answer. But I think what you're asking is, if you put on a trade in the evening, do you need more money to hold that position until the morning or overnight? And the answer is no.
Correct.
I think I got to the basic of that question. But Les, if you had more on that, please feel free to follow up here. So I think I addressed the trailing down cap out. So all right, here's a question. Does the trailing drawdown reach a cap out or a max level, or does it always raise no matter how much profit you have made? So
yeah, so I just answered that one literally. Yeah. I just messaged Vim that. So it raises until you've made more in profit than what your trailing max drawdown is. So for example, if your trailing max drawdown is $2,000 and you're up $3,000 in the account, you have the ability to draw down $3,000. So that's basically, it's only going to trail until you've made more in profits than what the trailing max drawdown is.
Cool. Here's another good question from JJ. He asks, am I going to give you folks my Sierra setup as well and the Topstep platform? And the answer is yes. You'll have a Topstep platform setup, a Sierra chart platform setup, and a Thinkorswim platform setup. And those chart packages have my indicators within them. Okay, so they're not proprietary indicators in the sense that it's code that I wrote, right? But it's the slew of the indicators that I use and how I use them. But you will get the chart book precisely for those three or all of them, right? Or whichever one you want to use. Let's see. Is the Combine account a demo account for no cash? So the Combine, again, step 1 and step 2 are sim. If you pass those, then you are in fact trading real cash, right? From a technical perspective, what was the thing that you learned? Aha, anything inspirational? That's a good question. I suppose what was inspirational for me was when I was on the trading floor. Someone said bid versus ask. Lost mid six figures in about 2 seconds. And then I learned, oh boy, if you don't know what you're doing and you don't have a good mentor, you can make some mistakes. So I suppose that would be aha. I suppose that's not terribly technical, but an answer nonetheless. So Hockey John, this is for futures, but it can also be applied to indices as well. The time limit in days to reach the Combine. So there is no limit, Fish. There is no limit. You can go as long as you want. So Frank, you only need to pay the basic, and then you get the 150K account. You can choose any one of them. Okay, so if you do the basic package for 397, you can choose the 30K, 50K, 100K, or 150K. It's up to you. My thought is that you might as well get the biggest bang for your buck and get that one. Now it's free, right? It's not an additional charge to the 397. 397, you get the class, the Q&A session, and then access to the combine for a month, any one of these. So my thought was, Frank, that's why you would choose that one. But you don't have to pay an additional 375. If hopefully that answers your questions. Some of the admin, a lot of these questions, Amelia, I think you could probably field here. So again, Frank, no, you don't have to pay. It's just a one-time payment. So the class is 397, and then with that, you can choose any of these. But we should have, I suppose, they're free. Okay, so purchase the class and get a free month. Okay, so that's how much it would cost normally. But with this deal, you get the class, and the combine is then free, essentially. Okay. For the live trading, so Stephen, it's 3 hours in the morning, and well, actually, the live trading is up above. I think it's 3 hours in the morning, 2 days a week, and then 2 hours in the afternoon. Now, I do usually go over. Last time I did a couple hours in the morning and ended up going the whole day. No promises, but we'll see. Should you get a dog? What do you think? Want a buddy? Yeah, sure. Why not? Well,
Spencer, yeah, micros are available, at least in the trading combine. Somebody asked, on average, how long does it take somebody to pass the trading combine? Shockingly, most do it within 15 days. So I don't have an exact average offhand, but a lot of the traders, do it within that straight 15 days. But again, as mentioned, you can do it in 200 days if that's how long it takes you. Just our minimum data set is that 15. What's the dog's name, Joe?
Leo.
Leo. What's
Leo,
up, buddy?
5.5 months. He's my what do they call it? Pandemic pup.
Right.
Pandemic pup. Yeah, I would think about 50% of the people in this building have dogs now, versus probably like 10% before. Everyone's tired of sitting at home alone.
Makes sense. RDC, you can take the trading combine as many times as you'd like. We have a lot of traders that actually do it as a development tool. So certainly the funding and having that incentive is excellent. But otherwise, it is a really safe place to develop without risking real money in the markets as well. So and really hone in your discipline too. So you can do it as many times as you'd like.
So let's see. Infinity account has margins of 500 per contract. So Richard, that's a good question. So you can take this course, right, and continue trading your Infinity account as you would. Now, what's nice about this course is the strategies that I'm going to be teaching and that we're going to be using, and the psychological principles and the risk reward ratios can then also be used in your Infinity account, right? But when you take the course and then you get the combine, you can leverage, right, that 375 or that 397 or that 597 and get up to trading 9 contracts, starting out with an investment of $597, right? So ultimately, You get the class, you get live trades, you get the combine for $597, and you can trade up to 9 contracts versus in your brokerage account, it's $500 per contract. So if you value the class at nothing and the live trading at nothing, which me and Leo hope you don't, you can end up with 900% value approximately. I suppose it would really work out to like 820, but anywho.
Frank, one month access to Frank. So if you don't pass the trading combine in the first month and you want to continue trading with Topstep, you'd either, continue on and you'd be charged, for a second month at the rate that you saw, or you can, cancel the account. So up to you. But again, seeing as most people do pass in 15 days, you have, more than enough trading days in a month to get her done. If you take a withdrawal on your funded account, does that affect your max drawdown? Yes, it does. So keep that in mind with your withdrawals. This one, I don't know, Joe, if you have an opinion, would we start the combine on Monday, December 8th during your live class? I think the combine is going to be personal preference, correct? But I'm not sure if you had any comment.
Yeah, I mean, you can start the if you get the package, you can start the combine in 30 seconds if you want.
Right.
But of course, I would recommend, what we recommend is, take the class, read the class do the class, the recording sessions, do the live sessions. And then if you want to wait till the live trading days are launched, that's perhaps a good idea. But again, that would be personal preference. I don't want to sway one way or the other on that, but yeah, essentially.
Yeah, definitely. I would, I'll go ahead and take a stance on that and say I recommend you go through the class first, and then, from there up to you. But yeah, either way, personal decision. John, is the Topstep platform, or can you use the Topstep Trading View through the Topstep platform? Yes, you can. So you can certainly use Trading View as well if that's your preferred platform.
Let's see. How are we doing, Connor? Are we? I think we're all about caught up.
Yeah, a lot of repeats. Yeah.
So with that, I think we're at about 90 minutes here, everybody. So I think we will wrap it up. But I think this is going to be a hell of a lot of fun. I really do. I think the bang for your buck is phenomenal. The opportunity to work with both Simpler and Topstep is a match made in heaven for sure. I think it's pretty exciting. You can have the potential to really parlay an investment, even if you're an experienced trader, right? And you can still leverage the hell out of your investment, and it's that simple. And then if you're a novice trader, right, you have the opportunity to learn to follow along pro live trading, to follow these signals, to get the opportunity to see some of the signals and positions you saw earlier on in the presentation. It's just going to be a lot of fun, and I'm so excited for the live trading. Knock on wood, market conditions will be nice for us, and we'll have a pretty freaking fantastic and exciting December. So, again, folks, click the link above. We're so excited to have you. Really excited to see you on Saturday for the class. Super excited to get you on board in the live trading. I know Leo's excited, although he's about dead. So he doesn't strike me as too excited. So thank you to Connor and everyone at Topstep. And I will shut this down. Connor, if you want to give a quick send off.
Sure. No, I really appreciate it, Joe, and the Simpler team. You know, the reason Top Step partnered with Simpler is we have a ton of funded traders and really talented traders that have come through our program that have earned funded accounts with the amazing education that Joe and the crew does over there. So, you know, that's why we felt this was really a match made in heaven, and we're excited to, you know, amp that number up through this effort too. So jump on board, you know, get piggyback on Joe's success, and you know, have an opportunity to earn a funded account. And I hope you're all making money with us real soon. But yeah, I appreciate everybody's time. Super excited.
All right, everyone, have a great night. We'll see you Saturday for the class, and then we'll see you next Tuesday for the live trading. Thanks again. Be kind to each other. Be safe, and happy Friday.